I just wanted to make you aware of our final lecture for 2025. That will be taking place in December, and the title of the lecture is looking at ecological colonization. It's a subject that we really must understand. For a number of these lectures, we've been talking about the importance of the language of nature to maintain that balance, that order, that Mizan. Now we have three partners: colonization, capitalism, and conservation. These are the three partners that come together. I'm sorry to say, but reality by white supremacy that is controlling the natural resources of the world to keep mankind poor, separated from their own land, to eradicate, to kill, to move off the land that indigenous people throughout the world have been home to. It is their homes, under the umbrella of conservation. It is fortress conservation. I spent my life working in the natural world across Africa and working with biologists and ecologists all over the world. And to really understand what's taking place today, you only have to go onto social media, and we see with the genocide that's been taking place in Palestine. This is a remaking of the biblical landscape to eradicate every sign from the land that is there and rightly owned by Palestinians, to re-establish, to recreate what they think is the biblical landscape. Surprising, isn't it, that nowhere else in the world holds the largest amount of national parks, even more than across in Africa, and continue to expand. What is behind national parks? What is behind these reintroduction programs, which are fenced off and only allowed for tourists, and in most cases white tourists from the West? And where these national parks are is where the natural resources are, and it is the elite that are controlling it under the corporations, capitalism, and colonization. And even the African leaders, Arab leaders, are behind this. It's a false flag of conservation. They're taking money from people, thinking that they are supporting the reintroduction or the protection of endangered species. It's all a lie. This crisis of perception is controlling our minds as well as controlling the lands. I'm here in this last lecture series to bring reality at the forefront, to explain to you the corruption, the facade that's taking place, and the numbness, the deafness, and the blindness that we are in as a ummah, when we are supposed to be the ones that are leading justice and freedom for humanity, and calling it out when it's meant to be called out, in the role of Khalifa. So please join me in December, where we're going to explore the language of conservation. We've explored the language of nature, covering birds and trees and many subject areas that we haven't yet covered. But the language of conservation are terms that you hear, terms that you read, terms that you see, which are completely false. It is just to serve a few, a minority, the white elite in most cases. Terra Nullius is dominating the world. The governments are not worried about conservation. The governments are not worried about ecosystems. The governments are not worried about biodiversity. It's a false flag. Geopolitics, you must understand. And geopolitics landscape cannot be separated from the geopolitical. You're going to hear some shocking facts, but I hope it will stir your minds, and you need to know it. This is now creating this out of balance that is happening across the world. We see the mass migration of people across the oceans, across the seas. We need to go upstream to realise what is taking place, but they don't want us to join the dots. And all part of this is understanding system science, which connects us to Nazm of the Qur'an. Please join me in December for this essential and vital lecture that will close 2025. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.